You cannot heal your kidney if you do these 10 things daily. Your daily habits might be sabotaging your kidney health. Learn the 10 things to avoid to support your kidneys effectively. The last one is a common mistake many overlook: ignoring thirst. We begin our crucial exploration by addressing a habit so fundamental, yet so commonly disregarded, that its impact on kidney health often goes tragically unnoticed. The pervasive tendency to ignore the body's subtle, and sometimes not so subtle, signals of thirst. Water is the very elixir of life, the medium in which all physiological processes unfold, and for our kidneys, the master filters and fluid balancers of our system. An adequate and consistent supply of pure water is not merely beneficial, it is absolutely non-negotiable for their optimal function and, most critically, for their capacity to heal. When we consistently fail to heed our thirst, or when we habitually choose other beverages over water to quench it, we inadvertently subject our kidneys to a state of chronic, low-grade dehydration. In this state, the blood becomes more concentrated, and the kidneys must work significantly harder, under considerably more duress, to filter waste products and maintain the delicate balance of electrolytes. Imagine trying to cleanse a muddy cloth with a mere trickle of water versus a generous flow. The former requires far more effort and is far less effective. This constant overexertion, day after day, places an immense strain on the delicate nephrons, the microscopic filtering units within the kidneys. Over time, this strain can lead to cumulative damage, reducing the kidneys' efficiency and their ability to effectively eliminate toxins from the body. Furthermore, when urine becomes overly concentrated due to insufficient fluid intake, the minerals and waste products within it are far more likely to crystallize and form painful kidney stones. This risk is significantly heightened when the habit of ignoring thirst is compounded by a diet high in stone-forming substances. For kidneys that are already compromised, perhaps showing early signs of disease or struggling to recover from past insults, this chronic state of underhydration is akin to asking a wounded soldier to continuously run marathons. It prevents them from having the optimal internal environment necessary for repair and regeneration. Healing requires resources, and water is a primary resource for cellular health, detoxification, and the transport of nutrients. Depriving the kidneys of adequate fluid is like depriving a healing wound of oxygen and clean dressings. Many people mistake other sensations, like fatigue or a slight headache, for hunger or other issues, when in reality their body is crying out for simple, pure water. Relying on thirst alone as a guide can also be misleading, especially for older individuals whose thirst mechanisms may become less sensitive, or for those who are very active and lose fluids rapidly. The ingrained habit of reaching for coffee, soda, or sugary juices when feeling parched instead of clean water further exacerbates the problem, as many of these beverages can actually have a diuretic effect or place additional metabolic burdens on the kidneys, as we will explore further. Therefore, if true kidney healing is sought, if the goal is to restore and preserve the precious vitality of these essential organs, the daily habit of ignoring thirst or consistently choosing suboptimal fluids must be consciously and diligently reversed. Cultivating the practice of regular mindful hydration with pure water throughout the day, even before profound thirst arises, is a foundational act of kidney compassion, creating the very internal river through which healing currents can flow. Sugar habit. Let us now turn our unwavering attention to a deeply ingrained daily habit that inflicts profound and often insidious damage upon our kidneys, acting as a powerful and relentless impediment to their healing: the habitual consumption of excessive sugar, particularly in its refined and concentrated forms. This sugar habit is not limited to an occasional sweet treat. For many, it is a pervasive pattern woven through their daily dietary choices. From sugar-laden breakfast cereals and sweetened coffees to sugary snacks, desserts, and most ubiquitously, sugar-sweetened beverages that flood the system with an unnatural deluge of sweetness. When we consistently inundate our bodies with high levels of sugar, a cascade of detrimental physiological responses is triggered, with the kidneys often bearing a significant brunt of the fallout. Persistently elevated blood glucose levels, a direct consequence of this sugar habit, force the kidneys to work overtime to try and filter out this excess sugar from the bloodstream. The delicate glomeruli, the tiny filtering units within the kidneys, are not designed to handle such a chronic saccharin onslaught. Over time, this hyperglycemic environment directly damages these fragile structures, leading to a condition known as diabetic nephropathy, which is the leading cause of kidney failure worldwide. Even for individuals who may not have a formal diagnosis of diabetes, a diet consistently high in sugar can promote insulin resistance, a state where the body's cells become less responsive to the hormone insulin. This not only paves the way for type 2 diabetes, but also contributes to a state of chronic inflammation and metabolic dysfunction that is inherently damaging to kidney tissue and function. Furthermore, the excessive intake of fructose, a component of table sugar and high fructose corn syrup, abundant in many processed foods and sweetened drinks, places a particular strain on the liver and can lead to increased production of uric acid. Elevated uric acid levels are not only a risk factor for gout, but also for the formation of uric acid kidney stones and can directly contribute to kidney inflammation and progressive renal injury. Beyond these direct mechanisms, a high sugar habit almost invariably contributes to weight gain and obesity, which are themselves significant independent risk factors for chronic kidney disease. Obesity is often accompanied by hypertension, high blood pressure, and systemic inflammation, both of which further compromise kidney health. The tragedy is that many people are unaware of just how much hidden sugar they consume daily, as it is artfully concealed in countless processed foods and drinks that are marketed as convenient or even healthy. For kidneys that are already struggling, attempting to heal in an internal environment constantly awash with excessive sugar is like trying to rebuild a delicate sandcastle while the tide is relentlessly surging in. The inflammatory and damaging effects of sugar actively counteract any healing processes. Therefore, if genuine kidney restoration is the goal, if one truly wishes to give these vital organs a fighting chance to recover their function and vitality, the daily sugar habit must be confronted and dismantled with unwavering resolve. This requires a conscious commitment to reading food labels, avoiding sugary drinks entirely, minimizing processed foods, and retraining the palate to appreciate the natural sweetness of whole fruits in moderation, rather than the intense artificial sweetness that drives this destructive cycle. Breaking free from the grip of sugar is a profound gift to your kidneys, allowing them the metabolic peace and clarity they desperately need to begin their healing journey. Processed foods? We now direct our focus to another pervasive daily habit that severely compromises kidney health and actively thwarts any genuine attempts at healing: the regular and often unthinking consumption of highly processed foods. These convenience-driven products, which line so many supermarket shelves and dominate the modern diet, are typically far removed from their natural state, having been subjected to extensive industrial modification, and are frequently laden with a plethora of ingredients that place an immense and unnatural burden on our kidneys. What makes these processed foods so detrimental? Firstly, they are almost invariably high in sodium. Sodium is added in copious amounts not only for flavor, but also as a preservative to extend shelf life. As we have explored, excessive sodium intake forces the body to retain water, increasing blood volume and elevating blood pressure. Chronic high blood pressure is a primary executioner of kidney function, relentlessly damaging the delicate arteries and filtering units within the kidneys over time. Many people are shocked to discover the astronomical sodium content in seemingly innocuous processed items like canned soups, ready-made meals, frozen dinners, processed meats, sausages, bacon, deli meats, savory snacks, chips, pretzels, and even some breads and breakfast cereals. This hidden sodium overload makes it incredibly difficult for the kidneys, especially if already compromised, to maintain fluid and electrolyte balance and control blood pressure. Secondly, processed foods are often teeming with unhealthy fats. particularly trans fats, and excessive amounts of omega-6 polyunsaturated fats from refined vegetable oils, which promote systemic inflammation. Chronic inflammation is a key driver in the progression of kidney disease, as it damages kidney tissue and impairs its function. These unhealthy fats also contribute to atherosclerosis, hardening of the arteries, which can affect the renal arteries, reducing blood flow to the kidneys and further hindering their ability to work effectively. Thirdly, many processed foods contain phosphorus additives. While phosphorus is an essential mineral found naturally in many whole foods, food manufacturers often add inorganic phosphate salts, such as sodium phosphate, phosphoric acid, to processed foods as preservatives, flavor enhancers, or texture modifiers. This added phosphorus is much more readily absorbed by the body than the organic phosphorus found naturally in whole foods. For individuals with impaired kidney function, the kidneys struggle to excrete this excess phosphorus, leading to dangerously high levels in the blood, hyperphosphatemia. This condition can cause severe bone disease, cardiovascular calcification, and accelerate the progression of kidney failure. Reading labels to identify these phosphate additives is crucial for kidney protection. Furthermore, processed foods are typically stripped of many essential nutrients and fiber found in their whole food counterparts, while often being packed with refined carbohydrates, artificial colors, flavors, preservatives, and other synthetic chemicals that offer no nutritional value but add to the kidney's detoxification workload. Relying on these nutrient-poor, chemical-laden products as daily staples starves the body of the very building blocks it needs for repair and regeneration, including the healing of kidney tissue. If one is earnestly seeking to heal their kidneys, the daily habit of consuming processed foods must be decisively curtailed. This means shifting towards a diet centered around fresh, whole, unprocessed foods, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and lean, clean sources of protein, prepared at home where one has control over the ingredients. This conscious choice removes a tremendous burden from the kidneys, reduces exposure to harmful additives, and provides the vital nourishment necessary to support their delicate healing processes and long-term well-being. Ignoring movement. Let us now consider a pervasive yet often underestimated daily habit that can significantly impede kidney health and obstruct their healing capacity. A predominantly sedentary lifestyle characterized by prolonged periods of sitting and a general lack of regular mindful physical movement. While it might not seem as direct an insult as consuming a harmful substance, the absence of consistent physical activity creates an internal environment that is far less conducive to optimal kidney function and repair. Our bodies are designed for movement. Regular exercise plays a crucial role in maintaining overall cardiovascular health, which is inextricably linked to kidney health. Physical activity helps to regulate blood pressure, a critical factor in preventing kidney damage. It improves blood circulation, ensuring that the kidneys receive an adequate supply of oxygen-rich blood necessary for their function and healing. It also helps to control blood sugar levels by enhancing insulin sensitivity, thereby reducing the risk of diabetes and its devastating impact on the kidneys. When we adopt a sedentary daily routine, spending countless hours sitting at a desk in front of a television or in a vehicle, several negative physiological consequences unfold that indirectly but significantly harm the kidneys. Lack of movement contributes to weight gain and obesity, which, as we know, are strong risk factors for kidney disease, often by promoting hypertension, diabetes, and systemic inflammation. Prolonged sitting can also lead to poorer circulation, especially in the lower body, and can contribute to fluid retention, placing additional strain on the kidney's fluid management responsibilities. Furthermore, physical activity helps the body to efficiently utilize and manage various metabolic products. In a sedentary state, these processes can become sluggish, potentially leading to a buildup of certain waste products or a less efficient processing of nutrients, indirectly affecting the kidney's workload. Exercise also plays a role in reducing chronic inflammation throughout the body. An active lifestyle helps to modulate the immune system and keep inflammatory responses in check. Given that inflammation is a key driver in the progression of kidney disease, the anti-inflammatory benefits of regular movement are particularly important for kidney protection and healing. For individuals already dealing with compromised kidney function, incorporating appropriate physical activity as advised by their healthcare provider can be profoundly beneficial. It can help to improve energy levels, manage associated conditions like high blood pressure or diabetes, enhance mood, and support the body's overall resilience. The habit of ignoring movement is essentially a habit of ignoring one of the body's most fundamental needs for maintaining vitality and facilitating healing. It's not necessary to engage in extreme or overly strenuous exercise. Gentle, consistent activities like brisk walking, swimming, cycling, tai chi, or qigong can offer substantial benefits. The key is to break the pattern of prolonged stillness, to consciously integrate movement into the daily rhythm. This simple yet profound shift can transform the internal landscape, creating conditions far more favorable for kidney health and their delicate ongoing work of purification and renewal. Movement is life, and it is a vital ingredient in the recipe for kidney healing. Stress overload. We now turn to an insidious daily reality for many in our modern world, a factor that can create a formidable barrier to kidney healing and contribute significantly to their decline: chronic, unmanaged stress or stress overload. While stress is an unavoidable part of the human experience, it is the relentless, unrelenting nature of much contemporary stress. From work pressures and financial worries to relational conflicts and information overload that exacts a heavy toll on our physiological well-being, with the kidneys often being silent victims of this internal turmoil. When we perceive a threat, whether real or imagined, our bodies activate the fight or flight response, releasing a cascade of stress hormones, primarily adrenaline and cortisol. In acute situations, this response is adaptive and life-saving. However, when stress becomes chronic, these hormones remain elevated for prolonged periods, leading to a host of detrimental effects. Cortisol, for instance, can increase blood pressure, which, as we've repeatedly emphasized, is a major assailant of kidney health. It can also disrupt blood sugar regulation, potentially leading to insulin resistance and an increased risk of diabetes, further endangering the kidneys. Chronic stress fuels systemic inflammation, creating an internal environment that is hostile to healing and promotes tissue damage, including within the delicate structures of the kidneys. The constant physiological arousal associated with stress can also lead to unhealthy coping mechanisms, such as reaching for sugary or processed comfort foods, excessive alcohol consumption, or smoking, all of which further burden the kidneys and impede their ability to recover. Moreover, stress can directly impact kidney function through its effects on the autonomic nervous system, potentially altering renal blood flow and glomerular filtration rate. The kidneys themselves are not immune to the tension carried in the body. Chronic muscular tension, often a physical manifestation of stress, can even subtly affect the physical environment and blood supply around these organs. For individuals already grappling with kidney issues, the added burden of unmanaged stress can feel overwhelming and can significantly slow down or even reverse any progress made through other positive lifestyle changes. Healing requires a state of relative physiological calm and resources directed towards repair. Chronic stress diverts these resources towards managing perceived threats, leaving little energy for restoration. Therefore, the daily habit of allowing stress to accumulate unchecked, of not having effective strategies for managing and releasing it, becomes a significant impediment to kidney healing. Cultivating practices such as mindfulness meditation, deep breathing exercises, regular physical activity, which is also a great stress reliever, spending time in nature, ensuring adequate sleep, engaging in enjoyable hobbies, and fostering supportive social connections are not luxuries but necessities for protecting and healing the kidneys. Learning to consciously shift the body out of a chronic stress response and into a state of relaxation and parasympathetic dominance creates the internal conditions where the kidneys can finally begin their deep work of repair and regeneration, unhindered by the relentless demands of an overactive stress system. reducing stress overload is a profound act of kindness to your entire being and especially to your hard-working kidneys. Sleep neglect. Let us now shine a light on a daily practice that many sacrifice in the relentless pursuit of productivity or entertainment, yet which forms an absolutely crucial foundation for kidney health and their capacity for healing. The habit of neglecting adequate, restorative sleep. Sleep is not merely a passive state of rest, it is an active period of profound physiological repair, detoxification and regeneration for the entire body, and our kidneys are no exception to this vital restorative process. During the deep stages of sleep, the body engages in crucial housekeeping tasks. Growth hormone is released, facilitating tissue repair and cell renewal. The immune system recalibrates. The brain clears out metabolic byproducts accumulated during waking hours. For the kidneys, sleep provides a period of relative respite from the high filtration demands of daytime activity, allowing them to engage in their own repair mechanisms and efficiently process waste products accumulated throughout the day. Chronic sleep deprivation or consistently poor quality sleep disrupts these essential restorative processes, creating a significant barrier to kidney healing and contributing to a gradual decline in their function. When we routinely shortchange ourselves on sleep, several detrimental physiological changes occur that negatively impact the kidneys. Firstly, sleep neglect can lead to an increase in blood pressure, particularly nighttime blood pressure, which is a strong predictor of kidney damage. The natural dip in blood pressure that should occur during sleep is often blunted in those who are sleep deprived, placing sustained stress on the renal vasculature. Secondly, inadequate sleep can disrupt hormonal balance, including hormones that regulate appetite, stress, and metabolism, such as cortisol, ghrelin, and leptin. This can lead to increased cravings for unhealthy foods, often sugary and processed, contribute to weight gain, and promote insulin resistance, all factors detrimental to kidney health. Thirdly, sleep deprivation is associated with increased levels of systemic inflammation and oxidative stress, creating an internal environment that is inherently damaging to delicate kidney tissues and hinders their ability to repair. Fourthly, there's a recognized link between sleep disorders, such as sleep apnea, where breathing repeatedly stops and starts during sleep, and an increased risk of chronic kidney disease. Sleep apnea can cause intermittent hypoxia, low oxygen levels, and activate the sympathetic nervous system, both of which can harm the kidneys. For individuals already dealing with kidney compromise, consistently failing to get enough quality sleep is like trying to heal a wound while repeatedly disturbing the dressing and preventing the body from marshalling its repair resources. The kidneys need this dedicated time of restoration to clear out cellular debris, repair minor damages, and maintain their intricate filtration machinery. Ignoring this fundamental biological need effectively handcuffs their ability to heal. Prioritizing sleep, aiming for 7 to 9 hours of uninterrupted quality sleep per night for most adults, is not a luxury but a cornerstone of any serious effort to support kidney health and facilitate their recovery. This involves establishing a regular sleep schedule, creating a restful sleep environment, avoiding stimulants like caffeine and heavy meals close to bedtime, and managing stress, which often interferes with sleep. Giving your kidneys the gift of consistent, restorative sleep is one of the most powerful and compassionate things you can do to support their healing journey. Ignoring symptoms. We now turn to a subtle yet profoundly dangerous daily habit that can prevent kidney healing and lead to devastating consequences. The tendency to ignore, dismiss, or rationalize the early warning signs and symptoms that may indicate underlying kidney distress. Our bodies are incredibly articulate in their own way, often sending out signals when something is amiss. However, in our busy lives, or sometimes due to fear or a lack of awareness, these vital messages from the kidneys can be overlooked until significant and often irreversible damage has already occurred. The kidneys are remarkably resilient and can often compensate for declining function for a considerable time, meaning that overt symptoms may not become apparent until a substantial portion of their capacity has been lost. This makes paying attention to the early, sometimes subtle, clues even more critical. What are some of these potential signals that should never be ignored? Changes in urination patterns are often among the first signs. Needing to urinate more frequently, especially at night, nocturia, experiencing urgency or difficulty urinating, noticing a decrease in urine volume or a foamy or bubbly appearance to the urine, which can indicate protein leakage, a sign of kidney damage, or seeing blood in the urine, hematuria, persistent swelling, edema in the legs, ankles, feet, or around the eyes can indicate that the kidneys are not effectively removing excess fluid from the body. Unexplained fatigue and weakness are common as healthy kidneys produce erythropoietin, a hormone that stimulates red blood cell production, and impaired kidney function can lead to anemia. Shortness of breath can occur due to fluid buildup in the lungs, if kidneys aren't removing fluid properly, or due to anemia. A metallic taste in the mouth or ammonia breath due to the buildup of waste products like urea in the blood. Nausea, vomiting, and loss of appetite can also signal advancing kidney problems. Itchy skin, muscle cramps, and difficulty concentrating are other potential indicators. The daily habit of powering through these symptoms, attributing them to stress, aging, or other less serious conditions without seeking proper medical evaluation can be a tragic misstep. If kidney disease is present, early detection and intervention are absolutely crucial for slowing its progression, managing complications, and allowing any healing potential to be maximized. Ignoring these symptoms effectively allows the underlying damage to continue unchecked, making recovery far more challenging, if not impossible, in later stages. It's akin to ignoring a small fire in your home until it becomes an uncontrollable inferno. Therefore, if any of these persistent or concerning symptoms arise, the responsible and self-loving action is to consult with a healthcare professional promptly. This allows for appropriate diagnostic tests, such as blood tests to measure creatinine and estimate glomerular filtration rate, GFR, and urine tests to check for protein or blood. Only with an accurate diagnosis can a suitable treatment and management plan be implemented, one that may include lifestyle modifications, dietary changes, medications if necessary, and ongoing monitoring. The courage to listen to your body, to acknowledge its whispers before they become screams, is a vital component of kidney healing and preservation. Don't let the habit of dismissal rob your kidneys of their chance for timely support and recovery. Medication misuse. Another daily practice that can pose a significant threat to kidney health and create a formidable obstacle to their healing is the misuse, overuse, or unmonitored long-term use of certain medications, both prescription and over-the-counter, OTC. While medications are often essential for treating various health conditions, it's crucial to remember that virtually all drugs are processed and eliminated by the body, with the kidneys frequently playing a major role in their excretion. Certain medications are known to be potentially nephrotoxic, meaning they can cause damage to kidney tissue if used inappropriately. One of the most common culprits in daily life is the chronic high-dose use of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, NSAIDs, such as ibuprofen, naproxen, and aspirin. These are widely available OTC for pain relief and fever reduction, and many people use them frequently without fully appreciating the potential risks to their kidneys. NSAIDs can reduce blood flow to the kidneys, and especially with long-term or high-dose use, or in individuals with pre-existing kidney vulnerability, like those with diabetes, hypertension, heart failure, or older adults. They can cause acute kidney injury or contribute to the development or progression of chronic kidney disease. Relying on these medications daily to manage chronic pain without addressing the underlying cause of the pain and without medical supervision regarding kidney safety is a hazardous habit. Similarly, certain prescription medications, while necessary for treating specific conditions, require careful monitoring of kidney function by a healthcare provider. These can include some antibiotics, antiviral drugs, certain medications used for autoimmune diseases, some cancer chemotherapies, and even some drugs used to manage high blood pressure or diabetes. Though these are often kidney protective when used correctly, improper dosing or combinations can be problematic. The key is that these must be used under the guidance of a physician who is aware of the individual's kidney status and can adjust dosages or choose alternatives if necessary. The daily habit of self-medicating with OTC drugs without reading warnings, exceeding recommended doses, or using them for prolonged periods without medical advice can inadvertently cause significant kidney harm. Even the use of certain herbal supplements or traditional remedies, if not well understood, or if they contain undeclared nephrotoxic ingredients or interact with prescribed medications, can pose risks. Furthermore, not adhering to prescribed medication regimens for conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure is another form of medication misuse that directly harms the kidneys, as uncontrolled blood sugar and blood pressure are primary drivers of kidney disease. If kidney healing is the goal, it is absolutely essential to have an open and honest discussion with your healthcare provider about all medications and supplements you are taking, both prescription and OTC. This allows for a comprehensive review to identify any potentially nephrotoxic agents, adjust dosages if needed, and ensure that your medication regimen is as kidney-friendly as possible. Avoiding the casual or uninformed daily use of drugs that can harm the kidneys is a critical step in protecting these vital organs and creating an environment where they can repair and thrive. Negative mindset. Let us now consider a less tangible yet profoundly impactful daily habit that can severely undermine kidney healing: the cultivation and harboring of a persistently negative mindset, characterized by chronic worry, fear, hopelessness, or a victim mentality regarding one's health. The mind and body are inextricably linked, and our mental and emotional states exert a powerful influence on our physiological processes, including the body's innate capacity for healing and regeneration. While facing a health challenge like kidney compromise can understandably evoke concern, allowing oneself to become consumed by negativity creates an internal environment that is antagonistic to healing. A daily pattern of focusing on worst-case scenarios, constantly dwelling on symptoms with fear, or believing that improvement is impossible can trigger a chronic stress response in the body. As we've discussed, this sustained stress state, with its elevated cortisol and adrenaline levels, directly impacts kidney health through increased blood pressure, inflammation, and disruption of metabolic balance. It's like trying to row a boat upstream against a strong current. The negative mental energy constantly works against any positive physical efforts being made. Furthermore, a negative mindset often leads to unhealthy behavioral patterns. Someone who feels hopeless about their kidney health may be less motivated to adhere to dietary recommendations, engage in regular exercise, manage stress effectively, or take medications as prescribed. They might think, "What's the use?" This self-sabotaging cycle, fueled by negative thoughts and beliefs, directly impedes any potential for healing. Conversely, cultivating a more positive, hopeful, and proactive mindset can significantly support the healing process. This doesn't mean denying the reality of a health challenge, but rather approaching it with resilience, a belief in the body's inherent capacity for improvement, however partial, and a commitment to taking empowering actions. Practices such as gratitude, affirmations, visualization of healing, seeking out inspiring stories of recovery, and focusing on what one can do rather than what one cannot, can shift the body's chemistry towards a more healing-conducive state. This positive mental framing can help to reduce stress hormones, calm the nervous system, improve immune function, and even enhance the placebo effect, where positive expectation itself contributes to beneficial outcomes. For kidneys attempting to heal, the message sent by a positive and nurturing mind is one of support and possibility, creating an energetic coherence that allows healing mechanisms to function more optimally. The daily habit of engaging in self-defeating internal dialogue, of catastrophizing, or of resigning oneself to illness is a potent barrier to recovery. Choosing instead to consciously cultivate thoughts of hope, self-compassion, and empowerment is not a mere platitude. It is a powerful therapeutic intervention that can profoundly influence the physical trajectory of kidney health. The mind can be either a formidable obstacle or a powerful ally in the journey of healing. The choice of which it will be rests largely with us through our daily mental habits. Ignoring nature. Finally, we arrive at a daily omission that, while seemingly disconnected from specific organ health, subtly yet significantly undermines our overall vitality and our kidneys' ability to heal. The habit of ignoring our deep, innate connection to the natural world and failing to immerse ourselves regularly in its restorative embrace. In our increasingly urbanized and technologically driven lives, many have become estranged from the very rhythms and elements of nature that have shaped human physiology for millennia. This disconnect can have profound consequences for our physical, mental, and spiritual well-being, including the health of our kidneys. Nature is not merely a pleasant backdrop, it is a source of profound healing energy. Spending time in natural environments, whether it's a forest, a park, by the ocean, or even a quiet garden, has been shown to reduce stress levels, lower blood pressure, improve mood, and boost immune function, all of which are beneficial for kidney health and conducive to healing. The fresh air, often richer in negative ions, which can have mood-lifting effects, the calming sounds of birdsong or flowing water, the visual beauty of trees and flowers, and even the feeling of earth beneath our feet, grounding or earthing, can have a deeply regulating effect on our nervous system, shifting us out of a stressed, sympathetic dominant state into a more relaxed, parasympathetic state where healing can occur. Our kidneys, like all our organs, function optimally when our overall system is in a state of balance and coherence. The constant barrage of artificial stimuli, noise pollution, electromagnetic radiation, and the often frenetic pace of modern urban life can create a state of chronic sensory overload and subtle physiological stress that taxes our adaptive capacity and, by extension, our organ systems. Nature provides an antidote, a sanctuary where our senses can rest and recalibrate, where our bodies can remember their intrinsic connection to the larger web of life. Furthermore, exposure to sunlight in nature is essential for the body's production of vitamin D, a hormone crucial for bone health, immune function, and, as research increasingly shows, for kidney health. Many people with kidney disease are deficient in vitamin D, and while supplementation may be necessary, sensible sun exposure on the skin, without burning, remains the most natural way to optimize these levels. The daily habit of remaining indoors, tethered to screens and isolated from the natural elements, deprives us of these vital restorative influences. It's like trying to keep a plant healthy in a dark, stuffy room, cut off from sunlight and fresh air. For kidneys that are striving to heal, creating an environment that minimizes external stressors and maximizes opportunities for physiological and energetic restoration is key. Consciously making time each day, or at least several times a week, to connect with nature, even a short walk in a local park, tending to plants, or simply sitting quietly outdoors and observing the natural world, can be a powerful therapeutic practice. It helps to dissolve the accumulated tensions of modern life, reset our inner rhythms, and provide a subtle yet profound nourishment that supports the body's innate healing intelligence, allowing our kidneys and our entire being to breathe more deeply and find their way back to a state of greater harmony and vitality. This reconnection is not a luxury, but a fundamental human need. The path towards true kidney healing is one of profound self-awareness, requiring not just the addition of beneficial practices, but the courageous and consistent dismantling of those daily habits, often performed unconsciously, that relentlessly undermine our body's innate capacity for restoration. It demands a compassionate inventory of our routines, a willingness to release what no longer serves, and a deep commitment to aligning our daily actions with the sacred intention of nurturing these vital organs. May this understanding empower you to make conscious choices, to transform your daily life into a sanctuary that supports not only the healing of your kidneys, but the flourishing of your entire being, paving the way for a future filled with renewed vitality, clarity, and profound well-being.